Hi guys, and welcome to the reading session this week. This week we're going to be reading the book called Tania In a Winter Wonderland. And this book should be on the Facebook page for you or will have been emailed out. And also in the bottom of this video we'll put a link and you can click on it and it gets you to a place where all the books from all the reading sessions will be, so you can have a look back and read through the old ones if you missed them. So yeah, if everyone gets the book up and then you can read along with us. So this book's quite long today, so I think what I'll do is I'll do the first two chapters, so we'll do half the book today and then we'll do the other half in a couple of weeks' time when it's my turn again. But yeah, this is a really interesting book, I think. It's not very appropriate to the weather right now. It's quite hot right now and this is all about the snow and the cold, but maybe it'll make us feel a bit different, a bit more Christmassy maybe. Okay, so I'll start. So the first chapter is called Fun with Snow. So like I said, if you get it up alongside us so you can read it with us, that'd be great. So what I'll do is I'll read through a couple of pages and then I'll go back and go through some difficult words. And then at the end of each chapter, I've got some questions just to check everyone's understood. So we'll go quite slowly because I think this one's quite a hard one, but yeah. So the first chapter, Fun with the Snow. Fun with Snow, I'll start there. Page 3. Fun with Snow. Mama, look outside. Mama, look. Sonia, look. The 7-year-old Tania shouted in excitement as she looked out of her first floor bedroom window. It was 2:30 p.m. She and her family had only just arrived at the cottage in Shimla that her parents had booked for the winter holidays. What's up, Tania? Mama asked, making her way to the window. It's snowing, Mama, Tania said, unable to tear herself away from the mesmerizing sight. It was the first time she had seen the white flakes descend from the sky. Mama put her arm around Tania and smiled. It's beautiful, isn't it? And everything becomes so quiet when it snows. 3-year-old baby Sonia was helping Papa unpack in the living room on the ground floor. She came running as fast as her little legs could carry her, as soon as she heard her sister Tania call. What happened? Her eyes were wide with excitement as she entered the bedroom. Look, Sonia, it's snowing, Tania said, helping Sonia onto the window ledge so she could see. Snow, snow, Sonia squealed, trying to reach for it. Fortunately, the window had bars on it. Mama laughed. Be careful, Sonia, and I'll leave the two of you to enjoy the snow while I go help Papa unpack. A few minutes later, Mama returned with a tray loaded with 2 steaming cups of hot chocolate and a plate of nankatis. She found her daughters huddled in a blanket on a large chair by the window, watching the snow. Mama placed the tray on the window ledge and left. A couple of hours later, after Mama and Papa had unpacked and set up the cottage for their week-long stay, they went to check on Sonia and Tania. The girls had finished their cocoa and biscuits and had fallen fast asleep, cuddling each other on the chair. Okay, I'll stop there because these pages are quite long, so we'll do a page at a time and go over it. So what's happening here? So the people in the story, we've got Mama, Papa, their mum and dad. We've got Tania, who is older, and we've got Sonia, who's little. She's only young. And they're on a holiday, and it seems to be a wintry place. So we'll start at the beginning, we'll just go through. So Tania is 7 years old and she's shouting in excitement. So she's really happy, she's really excited. And why? So they're on a winter holiday, it says. So it says, it's snowing, Mama, Tania said, unable to tear herself away from the mesmerizing sight. So these are really tough words, guys, so I'll go through them. So tear herself away. So it means that she's looking so much she can't look away. She's got to keep looking. It's so interesting. And mesmerizing, it's the same thing. So the sight, what she's seeing, is so interesting. It's so beautiful that she can't look away. She's got to keep looking. It says it's the first time she had seen the white flakes descend from the sky. So the white flakes means snow. So it's the first time that she'd ever seen snow. And they say it's so beautiful and everything comes so quiet. You can hear everything when it snows. So yeah, Tanya's 7, baby Sonia, she's only 3. And she was helping Papa unpack. So unpacking is if we've been away and we've got a suitcase or a bag and we need to put our stuff back. So they're unpacking their bags for their holiday. And she came running as fast as her little legs could carry her. So because she's only 3, she's got very little legs, she's only small. And so she's running as fast as she can. And she says, "What happened?" Her eyes were wide with excitement. So her eyes have got really big. She's so excited. And Tanya says, "Look, Sonia, it's snowing." And she helps her onto the window ledge. So the window ledge is where you have a window and the little bit at the bottom here that you could maybe sit on. That's the window ledge. So they're both sat on the window ledge looking out the window at the snow. And Sonia tries to reach for it. She tries to grab the snow, but fortunately the window has bars on it. So the word fortunately is like luckily. It's a good thing that it had bars on it. So by bars, we mean it had things on it to hold on to. So Sonia's not going to fall through. She's got something to hold on to. So luckily, it's good that there were bars on it, so she's not going to fall. So Mama leaves them to watch the snow on the windowsill, looking out the window. And then she returns with a tray. So she's holding a tray like this. And she's got 2 steaming cups of hot chocolate and a plate of naan gattis. And I don't know if anyone from India probably knows what they are more than me, but they're biscuits. So she's got some hot drink and biscuits for them. And she finds them huddled on a blanket. So they're huddled together really close because it's cold. And she places the tray on the window ledge and she leaves. And yeah, so she goes to check on them after a while to see if they're okay. She goes to the window to see Sonia and Tanya. And they've finished their hot chocolate and their biscuits. They've eaten and drunk them all. And they've fallen asleep. And they're cuddling each other on the chair. So they're cuddled up to each other like that. Okay, so we're starting. This is page 4 now. The sun was sinking. The sun was sinking behind the trees, and pink light bathed the cottage and its surroundings. Mamma gently woke the girls up. "Look out of the window now, girls," she whispered. Tanya and Sonia groggily looked out of the window, but what they saw made their jaws drop. It had been snowing heavily while they were asleep. Outside, the trees were all covered in a blanket of snow, glowing pink in the twilight. Neither of them had ever seen anything so beautiful, and indeed, as Mamma had said, it was very quiet. They marvelled at it for a few minutes, and then Tanya asked, "Mamma, Papa, can we go play in the snow?" "Yes, of course," Mamma replied, "but you need to wear your jackets, caps, scarves, gloves, and shoes." Soon the girls were outside. Tanya started making a snowman, and Sonia helped her. They used twigs for arms and pebbles for the eyes, smile and buttons. They made him a tinfoil hat and used a carrot for the nose. Okay, so we'll just go over this page. So the sun was sinking behind the trees. So something sinking, it's going down. So the sun was in the sky and it was setting like this, going down in the sky behind the trees. And it says pink light bathed the cottage. So pink light from the sun was all over the cottage, making it look pink, making the house look pink. So Mama wakes up the girls and she tells them to look out of the window. And they groggily look out the window. So this just means sleepily. So they've just woken up, so they're very sleepy. But it makes their jaws drop. So like this, your jaw drops because they're so shocked. They're really surprised. And they're surprised because it's been snowing while they're asleep. And all the outside is white with snow. They call it a blanket of snow. So it's very thick. It snowed a lot. And this is pink as well from the sun. And they'd never seen anything so beautiful. It was really beautiful. And they say they marvelled at it for a few minutes. So they marvelled at it just means they stared at it. They can't believe it. And then Tania asks, Mama, Papa, can we go play in the snow? So she wants to go play outside in the snow. And Mama says yes, but you need to wear your jacket, so your coat, your cap, like your hat, scarves go around your neck, gloves on your hands, and shoes. But soon the girls were outside, so they start making a snowman, and there's a picture of a snowman here, so it's just a person made out of snow. You roll it all up and make a person. And they use twigs for arms, so some sticks from the ground, from a tree, they put as the arms, little pebbles, little rocks for the eyes and the smile, and the buttons, like he's wearing a coat. And as you can see in the picture, they put a scarf around his neck, and he's got a carrot for a nose. So made this nice snowman. And the next page now, this is page 5. Just as they finished, Mama and Papa joined them outside. I think it's time for a snowball fight, Papa declared. They all started making snowballs and pelting each other as they ran around the yard. Soon, in spite of the cold, they were sweating and panting. Mama sat on the snow to rest. Then she had an idea. Hey, Tania, do you know what snow angels are? Yes, Mama, I saw someone make them in a cartoon. Can we make them? Sure, let's do that. Great idea. Papa joined them. They lay flat on their backs in the snow and started flapping their arms and legs to push away the snow and make snow angels. Sonia thought it was a hilarious activity, and soon she started rolling around in the soft snow. After a while, the family trudged back home, but as soon as they stepped into the house, the power went out. Mama boiled water in a large pot on the stove top, and Papa carried it to the upstairs bathroom so Tania and Sonia could have a hot bath. Mama and Papa had hot baths too. So at the beginning of this one, from the picture, they're having a snowball fight. So they're making a ball of snow and they're throwing each other. And it says they're pelting each other. So this just means hitting. So the snowballs were hitting them. And there's in spite of the cold, so that they were panting and sweating. So if you're sweating, you're really hot. So even though it was cold outside, they were still getting warm because they're running around. And then Mama says, do you know what snow angels are? So I don't know if anyone's seen these, but I'm going to try and get a picture actually. So snow angels, when you lie on the ground in the snow, if you lay on your back and you move your arms like this, so you make a snow angel shape. I'll get a picture up. Okay, so it's like this. Can we see that? So you lay on the floor, you move your arms and legs to make it look like an angel, this little person shape. And Tania says, yes, she saw someone make them in a cartoon. So she's seen it on TV. That's why she's seen it. So they start flapping their arms and legs like this, moving them like this, and they push away the snow to make snow angels. And Sonia thought it was hilarious. She thought it was really funny. And she starts rolling around in the soft snow. So she's rolling around like this in the snow. It says, after a while, the family trudged back home. So they've gone home, but trudged means they're going slowly because they're tired. They're trudging back home. But when they get home, the power's gone out, so the electricity has gone out. So instead, they're having to boil water to get the water hot enough so they can have their baths. Okay, and then the last page, this one, page 6. Then, dressed in their night clothes and warm robes, they returned to the kitchen. Tania helped Mama cut up vegetables to make chickadee, while Papa and Sonia went to the small shed outside to get some firewood. Papa brought back logs for a fire, while Sonia carried a few dried twigs and leaves. Once the chickadee was set to cook, Mama asked Sonia to fetch a brinjal. Mama made hot brinjal pakodas while Papa started a fire in the fireplace. The family enjoyed a tasty meal of hot khichdi and pakodas in the firelight. Everything seemed so peaceful until. So in this one, they've just had their baths. They're nice and warm, and they're making their tea. They're making their dinner. So they're cutting up vegetables to make khichdi, which is a curry, like a dal, so like an Indian dish. They go get some firewood to make a fire. So in the fireplace, they get their fire going, and they make pakodas, which are like pakoras. If people have heard of those, probably more than me. So they sit in the firelight, so just the light. They don't have any power. The lights have gone off, so just in the firelight they eat their meal. And it says everything feels so peaceful, so everything seems really calm until. So this tells us that something is going to happen later. So it was also peaceful until what happens. So I've got a couple of questions. So we'll do these and then I'll go into the next chapter. So you can have a look back at the story and I'll give a bit of time and then I'll give you the answers. So number one, who are the characters in the story? So there's 4 characters in the story. Who are they? So the 4 characters in the story, they're Mama, Papa, Sonia, and Tania. We should know that. And where are the family and why are they there? So you can pause the video and go back and check in the book if you want. So the answer I've got for this one is they're in Shimla, which is in India, and they're on holiday. They've gone for a winter holiday. So when the girls are watching the snow, when they go and play outside in the snow, what do they do when they go outside? So when Tania and Sonia go outside, what do they do? What do they make? So I put that they make a snowman, and we saw the picture of the snowman, and they make snow angels that I showed you the picture of. So they make these things with the snow. So that's basically what happens in that chapter. So we've got another chapter, and this one is quite difficult. So it's got a little bit of science in this, a little bit of chemistry. So we'll take it slowly, but it doesn't matter if we don't understand those bits too much, but I'll let you know the bits that we should be concentrating on. Okay, so the next chapter is called Winter is Troublesome. So troublesome means difficult, so it has lots of problems. So winter is difficult, that's what this means. The next morning, Tania woke up to sounds of frustration and panic. She had had a lovely rest under the warm blankets that Papa had wrapped her and Sonia up in. She was most surprised to hear Mama shout, "Oh no, 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 no. Ah, now what?" "What happened, honey?" she heard Papa call out. "There is no water coming from the tap," Mama complained. Tania had never heard Mama sound so distraught. Tania ran down to see what was going on. It looked like Papa had just started toasting bread in the fireplace. "Wow, this is awesome," Tania thought to herself, and went to see what was going on in the kitchen. Do you think a pipe burst last night?" Papa asked, turning the tap this way and that, but no water came rushing out. "That's probably it. The temperature dropped to quite a few degrees below zero last night. We should have left the taps running on a trickle. But what do we do now? How do we have baths, wash utensils and cook?" Mama, there is a lot of clean snow lying outside. Can't we just bring it in and melt it in a pot on the gas? Mama looked puzzled. Yes, I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. At least we could wash our faces, have our baths, and wash a few utensils. Tania, I wouldn't have thought of it, but it is a really good idea. Papa nodded and smiled at Tania. I can go to the nearest store and pick up some bottled water for drinking and cooking, he offered. I'll also drop by on the cottage owners down the street and see if they can get the pipe fixed soon. Tania went up to her bedroom to wear warm clothes so she could go collect snow in buckets for Mama. Sonia had already woken up. What are you doing, Tania? She asked. Okay, so this page. So she wakes up and Tania hears sounds of frustration and panic. So panic is when you're scared, and frustration is when you're angry or annoyed. So they're annoyed and angry and not happy. So Mama says there's no water coming from the tap. When she turns the tap on, there's no water coming out. And she's never heard her sound so distraught. She's really upset and sad. So Tanya's happy because smells her dad toasting bread in the fireplace, and she says, "Wow, this is awesome! This is so good." But then she hears, so Papa said, "Do you think a pipe burst last night?" So a pipe that carries water has burst, so it's come open like this, so the water isn't coming to the tap anymore. So the reason they think there is because the temperature got very cold last night, so it got below zero, so the water was freezing. The water turned to ice. But Tania has a really good idea. She says, why don't we just melt the snow? So the snow that's outside, they can melt it and that'll melt to water, and they can heat the water to have baths and do their washing. And at first Mama looked puzzled, so she was confused, she wasn't sure, but then she said it's a really good idea. So what they decide to do is Papa goes to the shop to buy some bottled water that they can drink with and they can cook with, but they go to collect the snow, and she goes to put her warm clothes on so she won't be cold. So the next page, 8, Tania explained the situation to Tonya. I'll come too, I want to collect snow. Sonia jumped out of bed and put on her warm clothes. The sisters took 2 small buckets and mugs and went to collect snow. It was hard work, but it was fun too. The family made a great team. The girls would collect snow in buckets and bring them to Mama. She would empty it into a large pot and heat the pot as the girls collected another bucket of snow. Mama would put the hot water into a large bucket and wait for the girls to return with another bucket of snow. When Papa returned with 5 litres of bottled water, he helped Tania and Sonia collect the snow and speeded up the process. So Mama set 2 large pots onto the 2 gas burners to heat the snow. They all went on until they had 3 large buckets, 2 small buckets, and 2 large pots full of water. Once everyone finished their bath with hot water from the melted snow, Mama made oats porridge and Papa toasted more bread on the fire and spread butter and jam on them. Just then the power returned. Typical, Papa sighed, but I must say it was fun making toast over a fire instead of in a toaster for a change. Okay, so I'll go over this bit first because then it gets a little bit more complicated. So I might just tell you what happens, because if we read all of this, it's going to be quite hard. So this bit here. So Sonia says, I'll come too. I want to collect snow. So Sonia wants to help Tania. So they go outside and they bring a bucket or a mug and they collect the snow and they bring it back inside. So they bring a big bucket of snow in, they give it to Mama, and she empties it into a pot, and then she heats it up and melts it. And they keep doing this, and then Papa comes home, and then he helps them as well. So he heats up the collects more snow with them, and they speed everything up. And they end up with 3 large buckets of water and 2 large pots full of hot water that they can use from their baths. And once they've all had baths, Mama makes them oat porridge, and Papa toasts more bread on the fire, and they spread butter and jam on them. But just then the power returns, so the electricity comes back on. And Papa says, typical. So when we say typical, it means of course it would happen then. So just as they'd solved the problem, the power comes back on. So just as they've got everything working, the power comes back on and it's fine. So it's typical. But he says it was fun making toast over a fire instead of a toaster for a change. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the next bit because it gets a bit difficult here. So they're talking about the science. So why, when the water gets cold, does the pipe burst? So basically, the mama and papa are explaining it to Sonia, to Tania even, and they say, so when water gets cold, everyone probably already knows this, but just in case you don't, the wording they use is quite hard. So when the water gets cold, it expands. When it gets ice, so ice takes more space than water. So when in the water's in the pipes, it's smaller, and when the ice is in the pipes, it expands, so it breaks the pipe, and then the water doesn't come off the top. So that's what's happening here, and Papa and Mama are explaining it to Tania, and so she understands what happens. So I think we'll leave this book there for today. So we've read the first half. So what's happened here? We've got the powers back on, which is really good, and they know why the pipe has burst, and they've been outside playing with snow. So we've got the other half, the other 2 chapters to read in the next few weeks. So yeah, I think I'll leave that one there, guys. So like I say, if we do want to go over this bit, just let us know and we can read through the bit that I skipped over. But yeah, apart from that, you can find the book, like I said, in the description of the video at the bottom. You can click the link to the Google Drive and it will take you to all the books that we've read so far. And we've also got their Facebook page, all the books are on there, and also they should be emailed out to you. So, okay, guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next few weeks. Thanks.